bacteria that can cause gum problems, all in one. New Crest Complete. Protection all in one.
I remember the night we walked barefoot in the wet sand. I remember the sparkle of bubbles in the moonlight. And I remember, too, discovering these delicious little milk chocolate squares with their soft caramel and, that lovely crunchy bit. And I tried to forget that someone saw fit to name them Munchies. I said I tried to forget.
This Saturday night, someone will win the National Lottery. But if it's not you, turn to Channel 4. We'll show you how to become a millionaire.
People that live any other way are just crazy.
You could win $1 million.
Viv Nicholson's pool's win would have been worth nearly £1.5 million.
Or you could marry it.
I've never heard anything so intelligent in my life.
So how do you do it?
It's your head you've got to use, not your heart.
A short film about winning a fortune and a longer film about marrying one. Saturday from 8.
It's nice.
On 4.
You got too close to the flame.
You're dealing with a devious, diabolical mind.
She's coming after me.
Tonight at 10:30, Basic Instinct on Scottish. NYPD Blue is over on Channel 4 and in half an hour here in Scottish. Basic Instinct, but now the news from ITN.
From ITN, News at 10 with Trevor MacDonald.
Major to his rebels, don't push me into an election. Reynolds looks doomed as his coalition collapses. The unseen killer that could cause cot deaths. And the strain of overwork. Are you pushed too hard? Good evening. The Prime Minister told his backbenchers again today that they must either back him or sack him over Europe. There are signs tonight that the tactic is working. 1 or 2 potentially rebellious MPs are stepping back into line. Mr. Major had told the Commons that if he was defeated on a bill which would see Britain's contribution to the European Union budget go up, then there'd be a general election. He said there was no room for compromise. Passage of the bill was inescapably a matter of confidence. Our political correspondent Michael Brunson reports.
With cameras in the members' lobby today, MPs could be seen studying the Queen's speech, but only one bill to implement the Edinburgh Summit deal on cash for Europe was creating real excitement. The leader of the Tory backbenchers, Sir Marcus Fox, chairman of the 1922 committee, had already prepared the ground, much to the annoyance of several of the Eurosceptics, for what the Prime Minister had to say about the bill.
There is no room for compromise on this bill. This means that its successful passage in all its essentials is inescapably a matter of confidence because of the agreements reached with our European partners, and I hope there is no doubt in the House about that.
But it was Alan Beath who put the point directly.
Is he making clear to the House that if the government were to lose any vote on that bill, he would seek a dissolution and the country would have the opportunity of a general election?
I just made it perfectly clear that this bill has to be passed in all its essentials.
In other words, yes, an election it will be. Now, on Queen's Speech Day, the leader of the opposition has to speak first. But even as Tony Blair was preparing his speech earlier, he knew about Mr. Major's intended stand.
It has surely come to something when a government can only secure the passage of its own legislative programme by threatening its own demise. But what a way to run a party and a government.
Tonight, Downing Street made it clear that the failure of the bill at any stage could mean Mr. Major going to see the Queen. But even earlier, some potential rebels had said that they wouldn't precipitate an election.
No, of course not. I doubt if there's any Conservative member of Parliament who would actually want to bring down the government, but I don't believe that we will arrive at that situation.
Yet a hard core of 6 or 7 rebels remains. One says it's the Queen who dissolves Parliament on Mr. Major's advice.
But what business is he to do that in these circumstances? He can go on continuing. The government should continue. It's one of these threats which I hope will be seen to be just that of a paper tiger.
With the Ulster Unionists supporting the government on this, though, it's going to take about 16 or 17 Tory rebels before Mr. Major suffers any defeat. And so his apparently high-risk strategy might not be quite so dangerous after all. However, Europe is particularly high-octane, dangerous stuff in the Tory party, and the danger is certainly not going to pass until this bill is passed. Michael Brunson, News at 10, Westminster.
That controversial European Community Finance Bill is one of 13 pieces of legislation the government wants to get through Parliament in the next year. The others, all announced in the Queen's speech today, include a bill to set up an appeals body to review what appeared to be miscarriages of justice, and a bill to make sure that mental patients released into the community are supervised. Other legislation will replace unemployment benefit and income support with a single job seekers allowance and raise the retirement age for women to 65. Here's our political correspondent Adrian Britton.
The pomp and glitter of the state opening of Parliament, adding the sparkle to what opposition MPs considered a lacklustre programme of legislation. The door to the House of Commons ceremoniously slammed in the face of Black Rod as he calls MPs to attend the Queen's speech. As members made their way to the House of Lords, it was the first time John Major and Tony Blair paired for the occasion as Prime Minister and leader of the opposition. Among the 13 bills in the Queen's speech, no mention of the Post Office, and the two minor privatisation bills will appease rather than enthuse Tory right-wingers. This was cautious legislation on the road to an election. The most radical proposal to make the unemployed prove their job hunting in order to receive benefits.
A bill will be introduced to create a job seekers allowance, reforming benefits for unemployed people and giving them better help into work.
When MPs returned to the Commons, the opposition party said the speech showed the government was bereft of ideas. Tony Blair accusing the Tories of not knowing whether to praise Thatcherism or bury it.
And 4 years after the departure of the Right Honourable Lady, they still cannot decide. The result is the hallmark of this government. Dogma tempered only by dithering.
But the Prime Minister labelled the opposition as misery merchants. His proposals had clear aims.
A better quality of life for all our citizens.